Welcome back. Now, senior BJP leader L.K. Advani has accused the media of viciously maligning Gujarat Chief Minister Narendra Modi, who he says is the most maligned leader in India's political history. In his blog, Advani talks about news reports on former President Kalam's book and says the media has ignored the good things that Kalam has written on the Modi government's cooperation when he travelled to Gujarat after the riots. This is what he wrote.
I have often felt that in India's political history, no political leader has been as systematically and viciously maligned as Gujarat Chief Minister Narendra Bhai Modi. Do not these reports also reveal a conscious effort at vilification? The Prime Minister's casual query, do you consider going to Gujarat at this time essential? As the Prime Minister wanting to stop the President from going to Gujarat. Dr. Kalam has also referred to apprehensions he had heard that his visit may be boycotted. Dr. Kalam's actual experience was totally different. Mr. Modi and his government enthusiastically cooperated with Dr. Kalam. Yet no news person thought it worthwhile to report these complimentary observations of his.
So is L.K. Advani right? Is Narendra Modi the most maligned leader in India's political history? Do tell us what you think. Let me take that question to the editors first. Mr. Kumar Ketkar, to you first. What do you think of what Mr. Advani said?
Well, actually, he is most maligned by whom? Today's New York Times carries a story in which New York Times calls him a mass murderer. Now, New York Times has no vested interest in Indian political scene and it has called him a mass murderer. So, I don't think Modi is mass maligned by the Indian political class or Indian media or Indian opposition to BJP. I think Modi remains a mass murderer to many people's eyes, and genocide in Gujarat between 2002 and 2003 is well known, it is documented. You must read all the reports between 2002 and 2003. Do you know, for instance, in Secretariat, it is not easy to go for media person to talk to any minister. It is not easy, and no media person has actually challenged this particular blasphemy carried out by all the media persons.
So you're saying that what the media does in India is raise legitimate questions about Narendra Modi and his role or the fact that it happened under his watch in 2002?
No, so many NGOs, so many lawyers collectives, so many feminist organizations, so many social organizations, so many organizations which are not connected with any political party have raised the question about Narendra Modi's behavior in 2002 and later, and his complete defense, and suddenly converting in 2007 the agenda to development. I think Narendra Modi, even today, as I said, New York Times calls him a mass murderer, and New York Times has no personal agenda, no personal axe to grind.
Mr. N. Ram, where do you stand on this? It's a debatable proposition, clearly, whether he is the most maligned leader in India's political history. Is he? Do you think the Indian mainstream English media in particular goes after him much more than they do other leaders?
I don't read it like that. I think Chief Minister Narendra Modi has has balanced coverage in the press, because many things are written about Gujarat's development achievements, not just the work of one man, but and nobody has leveled any corruption charges and so on. So I think the press has been quite, television as well, quite objective about this. But you can't escape the stigma. It's a lifelong problem for a politician like Narendra Modi, that once a pogrom happens on that scale, and as Kumar said, everyone acknowledges it, and even Prime Minister Mr. Vajpayee was very defensive about it. Once that happens, you can't escape it. It'll keep coming back, and so that you can't accuse the press and take one incident of reporting of some excerpts from Mr. Kalam's new book, which I've read myself. Yes, it's true. What is highlighted is the attempt to discourage him from going to Gujarat, and then he went and so on. But it's not the role of the president to investigate too deeply. He's a constitutional functionary, and the president doesn't go and threaten anything in that particular state. So the issue is not that important. But clearly he's not the most maligned figure.
You're clearly disagreeing then with L.K. Advani's assessment. You're saying that you believe that the coverage of Narendra Modi in India's media is actually very balanced and objective, which is an interesting take, I think.
Yes, it is true. And what I'm also saying is I would give a lot to Mr. Advani so far as dealings with the media are concerned. I know personally that he follows the media seriously. He respects good work in the media, And for him to say this, there must be a very strong political imperative pushing him to say this and make a statement which I think cannot be justified. He is not the most demonized figure in Indian politics. If he gets a bad press on this particular issue, he entirely deserves that.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app, fully optimized for retina display, full screen view, faster response time, and Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.